name's David Metcalf, and tonight I'm narrating for Una Bella Voce, Una Bella Musica, which is a night about opera choruses and a night about classical music. It's a final of 3 concerts which have been carried out in Morpeth, and the first concert was Daisy Moon Saves Music, which was based on the work of K. Wadsworth. The second was the Ravenswood Singers and Opera live, doing opera choruses, and tonight is about opera and classical music generally, and what we're going to do is we're going to take people through an historical timeline, although it's slightly skew-with in some places, which will hopefully interest them. I know that there are some fabulous voices here, and there are some fabulous musicians here. Now, I've taken part in the first one, I've watched the second one, tonight I'm narrating the third one, and it's a shame that you can't be here.
Is this all about bringing opera to a new audience?
No, not really. I think if you look at opera, opera has never been purely and simply for the upper classes, which is what a lot of people think. It's like Shakespeare. Shakespeare had the groundlings. Opera was just the same. It wasn't made, it may have been initially made for lords, ladies, etc., but it was made with a view of spreading it around the world. And certainly in Italy, if you go to Italy today, everybody sings opera. It's inherent in the race.
So what do you think that these 3 events will do for opera in our area?
Well, I'm hoping that it will just spark an interest somewhere along the line. I mean, there were loads and loads of kids at the first one, which is great. And if they've had just that little bit of a spark given to them, an interest, if they can say, hey, I've heard that before somewhere, and it's opera, or it's classical music, that's all we're looking for, to reignite that spark. And quite frankly, Morpeth seems to have a lot of really wonderful singers, and a lot of people who are really interested in music.
Take all these, you lucky man, take and keep them if you can, if you can. Take all these, you lucky man, take and keep them if you can, if you can. Take a pretty little court, quite a miniature affair, hung about with trellised vine. Furnish it upon the spot with the treasures rich and rare I've endeavored to define. Live to love and love to live, you will ripen at your ease, growing on the sunny side. Fate has nothing more to give, you're a dainty man to please. If you're not satisfied, take my counsel, happy man, act upon it if you can, if you can. Take my counsel, happy man, act upon it if you can, if you can.
Alex, you're performing here at Morpeth tonight in the final of the series of 3 opera events, and I just wonder if you could tell us, as a singer yourself, how important do you think it is to have this type of event that brings your music to an audience that might not have experienced it before?
I think it's something that people might equate with very wealthy people or high art or something like that. But if you play someone a piece of gorgeous piano music, there's opera, there's piano, there's song, there's such a massive variety that people can connect with it. People all over the world, and certainly I know in this country, love Nessun Dorma from Puccini's Turandot, they don't know what opera it's from. They know nothing about the context of it, but it speaks to them on a really base level and moves people. And that's true of things all across the classical world and spectrum of music that we have, not just in opera. So it's nice if people feel like they might want to try something new out, come and see a show like this, and hopefully be moved by it without feeling that there's any pretense or expectations of dress or behavior or accent or wealth or anything ridiculous like that. It's music is definitely for everyone, and that's no different with these concerts, which are great to bring more music to more people, and why not?
And what about the age of your audience as well? I mean, you're a young chap. When you look out there, do you see mostly old people, or are a lot of younger people taking an interest?
That is an interesting one. We usually expect a much older demographic in the audiences, and people worry that things like the audiences will be diminishing because they're not being replaced by younger people or taken up by younger people. But I actually think that as people get older, they're more ready to be able to take on the broader themes of the music, whereas pop's immediately accessible and it's done in 3 minutes. These things are deep texts and librettos to get your teeth into, and the symphonies can be marvelous over half an hour or so on the oratorios and the operas, and you need to really be fully mentally engaged on all fronts to get stuff from it, and it moves you more for that. So I think people, when they're older, they're more able to take that on, and I don't think that's a problem. But if people are awakened to it at a younger age, that's great too. I mean, that will do no harm to the plight of classical music at all. But unfortunately, it's not that common that unless you're like myself or my friends that I'm singing with tonight, you're singing or you love it already and you've been brought up with it.